Hello dear students, welcome to this masterclass. The topic for this masterclass will be pronunciation of simple past regular verbs. Okay? I hope you are ready. Okay, so let me give you the objective for this masterclass. Okay? By the end of this masterclass, you will understand and be able to accurately pronounce 3 different endings of the regular verbs in simple past tense. So the importance for this class is that you will be able to communicate effectively in the target language. So that's why this lesson is very important to follow up. Okay? So let's get started. So the fundamental concepts that you will learn in this lesson is that you will be able to identify 3 different pronunciation sounds when talking in the simple past tense. For example, the 3 different pronunciation sounds are t, the, ith. And according to this, you will identify and recognize voiceless sounds, voiced sounds, and dental sounds. So you will be able to identify with my explanation. Next, let's do a deep analysis of the regular verbs. Okay, so in regular verbs, when forming a simple past structure, we have to bear in mind 3 different pronunciation aspects. That it is the phonology in the, t, or ith. As you can notice, you will identify voiced vibration with sounds, voiceless, and some exceptions that are the dental sounds, the sounds that it is t and the. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so how to pronounce the simple past ed? As you see in English, in order to form the past tense, we need the ed ending. For example, I walk. In the past is I walked. I play. In the past is I played. I want. In the past, I wanted. But did you notice something? That the 3 different sentences that I said have 3 different pronunciation sounds. Did you notice that? Okay, so I hope you may have noticed these 3 different pronunciations. And I did it like that, with t, the, and ith. Okay? So, but you may wonder, how is this pronunciation? Okay? So the pronunciation will always depend on how the last sound of the verb in base form ends. For example, here we can see the verb kiss. Okay? As you notice, the last sound of the verb is s. Okay? When I'm turning it into the past, we can see that the pronunciation is kissed. Okay? Let's listen another example. Okay? In this example, the verb is enjoy. As you notice, the last sound of the verb is oy. Okay? So, in order to change it into the past, we can see that the pronunciation is enjoyed. Enjoyed. Okay? And the last one, we have the verb protect. As you notice, the pronunciation of the last sound is t. When turning it into the simple past, we can see the pronunciation ith. So the word, it will be protected. Okay? So, but you may have wondered, okay, teacher, how can you identify and how can you notice what is the pronunciation of the ed endings in simple past? So, in order to follow up this, you need to bear in mind the 3 different pronunciation sounds. Okay? When a sound ends in t, when a regular verb ends in the, or when a regular verb ends in eth. Okay? But here we have three different categories in this case. For example, a verb needs to sound with t if the last sound of the word is a. For example, voiceless sound. Okay? You may have wondered what is a voiceless sound. Okay? A voiceless sound is when in your vocal cords there is no movement, no vibration. Let's do an example. Here we have the sounds. P, k, s, ch, sh, f, s. Okay? If you touch your throat, you will notice that in this sound there is no vibration. Okay? So the rule says that depending on the end of the sound, if it is a voiceless sound, you will have to pronounce this verb into the past with the phoneme t. For example, we have cook. As we notice, the last pronunciation of this sound is k. If it is a voiceless sound, you need to add ed. So in the past, it has to be turned into t. Okay? Let's continue with the next example. Okay, we have the verb wash. Okay, as you notice, the last sound is sh. No vibration. Sh. When turning into the past, we say that it is washed. Washed. Okay, and the next sound is help. Okay, we can see that the pronunciation is p. Okay, so when turning into the simple past, it will sound helped. Okay? So, now let's continue with the next category. The sound is d. So, remember that all of them depends on how the sound of the last syllable in this case is. For example, in this case, it says it has to be a voiced sound. What is the difference between voiceless sound and voiced sound? Okay? When you produce in this sound, you have your vocal cords are moving. There is some vibration here. Okay? Let's see the examples here. Let's go with me and try to touch your throat and produce this sound. The first one. L, v, n, ra, ba, ga, wa, ya, z. And vowel sounds, it is telling me that the rules, the verb needs to be pronounced with d. Let's do some examples. Okay? So here we have belong, belong. The last sound of this is g, g. If you touch your throat, you see that it is vibrating. Belong. Okay? So in turning it into the past, belonged. Belonged. Okay? So let's go with the next word. Okay? The next word is appear. As you can notice, the last sound of this verb is R. Okay? So in turning it to the past tense, it will be appeared, appeared, appeared. Okay? So, let's go and take a look at another example. Okay? Here we have call, call. You can notice that the last sound of this verb is l, l. So, the rule says that when the last sound is a sound that is voiced, it has to be pronounced cold. Cold. Okay? Let's go with the next exception. The next exception is the sound eth. But this is an exception because it is telling me the rule that when the last sound of the verb is a dental sound, what I mean for a dental sound. So these two sounds are dental. When you put your tongue in your palatal and then you make the sound. And the two dental sounds are the following. T and D. Okay? T, D. Let's see some examples. As you can see in this word, we have want. We can notice that the last sound of this verb is t, and it is a dental sound. Okay? So, in order to make it into the past, we can make it like wanted, 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 wanted. Okay? So, let's do another example. Here we have the verb need. Okay? As you can notice, and according to the rule, we can see that this verb ends in the sound d, d. It is a dental sound, so that's why it has to be in the past with the sound eth. Needed, needed, needed. Okay? So, let's go with another example. Here we have the example of the verb land. Okay? Land, it is ending with the sound of the, and in the past it should be pronounced landed. Landed. Okay? So as you see, these are the three pronunciation aspects and the characteristics on how to pronounce the verbs correctly in the past. In this case, the regular verbs. Okay? By applying these rules, you will be able to communicate better in the English language. So, but let's continue practice together applying these rules. Okay? So, let's continue and let's practice about this. Okay? So, let's follow this example. Okay? Number 1, it says, I watched TV last night. Okay? In that example, you see that watch is like a no vibrating sound, watch. Okay? That's why I pronounce it like this, watched. Okay? In the next one, you can see that it is the verb play, and it is supposed to be with the. Okay? Because it is the last sound, it is a vowel sound, a. So, the correct pronunciation will be, I played baseball this morning. Okay? The next is the verb study. Okay? As you see, it is a vowel sound. Okay? Study. Okay? So, in the sentence, it should be pronounced with the. We studied hard for this test. In the next one is enjoy. Okay? Here we can see that it is a vowel sound. It has to be enjoyed. I enjoyed the new film. The other is climb. B, b. Okay? It has to be pronounced with climbed, the cliff, the wall. My brother climbed the cliff wall. Okay? In the other one, we have the lamb jumped over the fence. As you can see that the last sound is p, no vibration. So that's why I pronounce that verb with t. Okay? In the last sentence, we can see that the verb cook. Okay? As you can see, it is a voiceless sound. Cook. Cook. Okay? So it has to be pronounced. They cooked an amazing meal. Okay? So guys, as you can notice, native speakers, they are aware of this pronunciation. They come naturally when they are speaking. But you, as a second language speaker, you need to be aware of these rules, because in that way you will get a fluent communication in the second language. But the key in this lesson is that the more you practice with these rules, the more you get better in your pronunciation. Okay? So, let me explain about this about the tasks that you have to do, okay? So, the tasks that you have to do have a sole objective, okay? In this task, you will be able to practice and improve the pronunciation of regular verbs in simple past tense, focusing on this master class that I have explained it to you, okay? Remember that the sounds that we practice are the t, the, and ith. Okay? Let me give you some instructions about the task that you have to do. You need to watch carefully this master class. In the lesson that I provide, all of the explanation. I want you to take some pauses while watching the video when I am explaining the correct pronunciation of each sound, and also when it is a verb, it is voiceless and voice, or it is dental. Okay? Once you have watched the video, I want you to practice with some kind of verbs. There is a regular verbs below, and you need to write a story using the regular verbs below. Okay? So the verbs you need to write for the story will be watch, play, clean, jump, love, want, need, talk, walk, and invite. Okay? So these are the verbs you need to include in your story. So you need to write a story by using these verbs. Okay? But if you have more verbs, more regular verbs that you need to include in the story, or other irregular verbs, you can feel free to use another one. But make sure that in your story there are mostly about all of the regular verbs that I'm explaining to you. Okay? So, after this, when you write your story, I want you to upload your story in a forum. How you will upload your story in a forum? Okay? You need to record yourself, your story, and say it out loud. Okay? You have to record your story, trying to pronounce in your story the verbs in simple past, okay, while using in your story. I want you to upload it into the EVA, into the forum, okay? Once your story is over there, I need you to listen to other classmates recording about their stories, and I want you to give them constructive feedback. I want you to highlight what they did well and suggest improvement. I'm going to give you some examples about that. And then I want you to share your own tips, remembering the correct pronunciation of the ed endings. Okay? For example, here is an example. Student 1, here is in the photo. Here is my recording of my story. Please let me know how I did it. Okay? Then you put the link of your story, of your recording, and the other student will say, okay, great job, your pronunciation of walked and started was perfect. For jumped, or try to make T sound or a bit sharper. Keep practicing. So in this photo, you will give constructive feedback, you will listen to each other's story, and give constructive feedback to everyone. So you need to write your feedback and your comment on your friend's story. Okay? So, in here you can at least comment 2 or 3 classmates about this story. Okay? So please provide a constructive feedback about this lesson. Okay guys, I hope that this class have served to you in order to better your English language skills, in this case productive skills, and I hope to see you soon in another class. Have a good one. Take care.